So at any rate, I felt, I could see with my own eyes, regardless of what other people said, that our drug delivery systems, we'd put dyes in some of these little tiny particles, and I could see them keep coming out. So, we went ahead and started doing studies to see if we could find something that could stop blood vessels. That was the original goal. And by that time, I'd also isolated a whole bunch of different substances that I hope might stop the blood vessels. They were all large molecules. So working with a couple surgeons in Dr. Folkman's lab, my client Ken Falterman, we actually tested maybe 100 different ones. 99 didn't work. We probably did 2,000 eyes. And the next slide's kind of gruesome, but let me just show it to you. This is the rabbit eye assay. And we published this in Science. And what happens is if you don't put an inhibitor in or have an inactive one, which almost everyone was, you get what you see on the left. In fact, if you didn't sacrifice these animals, which we do, what happens is the tumors become three-dimensional. They go out of the orbit of the eye, and they would kill. But we sacrificed them before then. But what was so striking is when we put this one inhibitor in, one fraction in, you get the vessels are lower, they're sparser, they avoid the delivery system and the tumor. And we repeated this 20 times, so it was quite striking. 60% of the time, these tumors never grew, and that never happened in the controls. So that was very exciting. It showed for the very first time that blood vessel inhibitors did exist, and would provide a pathway, like bioassays, that all future inhibitors could be studied. Now, it took medicine, and people may not realize this, but medical research is really slow from discovery to translation. It took 28 years from this paper before the first blood vessel inhibitor would get approved by FDA. But if we go to the next slide, what you see, and it may be hard to read, but one after starting 28 years later, 2004, one after the next blood vessel inhibitor gets approved by FDA. Avastin, that's one of the biggest, that was the first, and that is one of the 2 or 3 best-selling biotech drugs in history. And it's approved for many different cancers. Also, what you see on this slide is that these continue to get approved to this day, 3 this year. And they're all not only used for treating different kind of cancers, but they're also, actually, it turns out, the only pharmacologic treatment that exists for stopping diseases of blindness in the back of the eye, like macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. They've really revolutionized, the companies that have sold it. They've revolutionized treating diseases in the back of the eye and so forth. And so that was actually very exciting to see, but of course it took a long time.